morning, everybody. Who wants pasteles? I'm on my way right now to make pasteles with my family. We have a tradition of doing this, like, around the holiday season. We'll make a dozen for everybody to take home. So we're going to be making pasteles today. It's going to be fun. I have my mother-in-law coming to help too, because she really likes to join in when we do pasteles. So if you're in my area, you want pasteles, let me know, and I'll look you up. All right, bye.
Alright, these are the things that are needed to create this pasteles, and this is cilantro. What's in here, Mom?
Esto es carne y esto es jamón.
What kind of meat, though?
Esto es yuca.
This is yuca?
Estos son guineos.
These are the ingredients that's needed to make the pasteles. We have calabaza. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. They need to be really orange, and the small ones, the ones that are really hard, those are the best ones. The ones that are soft have too much water in it, according to my aunt, and she says that the harder ones are the best ones. So we filled out the water up until the rim on this pot, and we're gonna be doing the meat in here. The meat is pork. It's called cerdo or lomo. She's showing achote, sabor achote. This is what we're gonna be doing with. We're gonna color in the masa of the pasteles with this. It's oil and achote. You heat it up, and it's basically doing food coloring and adding oil. So we make that. We're gonna be putting that into the meat and also into the masa of the pasteles. And this is the meat that she's pulling out right now. We need the bone in order to make flavor. When we cook the meat, we have to have a bone. So when you go to ask for the meat, you want the what do you call it? The pig, and with the bone, maybe a shoulder, or just, and we put the meat to boil on medium high. We put basil. She put some basil in there. She put some amarillo. This is like the one that is just food coloring as well. And then she put bay leaves. She put a lot of bay leaves in it, like the powdered bay leaves. That's bay leaves. So she's just, she does everything by eyeballing. So this is why okay, so then this is 2 spoons of sofrito that she put in there. And the sofrito is a whole other video on its own, because that's something that I need to learn how to do. This is something new that the cubitos nol, they're a cube that you used to put in, and it has MSG. But this one is better because it doesn't have MSG in it. So we're going to see what it is right now. It's showing there what it is. It's like chicken stock, and you put it in there. She put a lot. We're making 140 pasteles. So this is the recipe for 140 pasteles. This is not going to be like, if you're going to make a dozen, it's going to be cut down a lot. But this is how she does it. When she does it, she makes a lot. Like, she only knows how to make a whole bunch. She doesn't want to make like a little bit. So we're going to have to, like, whatever recipe I'm using for this, for 140, we have to break it down. So she's going to do this for like 30 minutes. Get the meat to simmer. She's putting the salt. She's putting one tablespoon, but I'm pretty sure she puts more. She puts more salt later. This is me and my sister. She was telling me about the strings that she measures the string. We're gonna need this to wrap the pasteles later on. These are the hojas de plátanos. The hoja de plátanos is what we wrap it with. We need paper and the hojas. So she strains the oil. You don't want any of the achote to get into your masa, so you want to strain it. That and the sauce. She actually put the achote inside where the meat is, to give it color and for oil. That's good. So this is the hojas. The hojas, these are the leaves, plantain leaves. You have to take them out of the bag, wipe them front and back, and then cut them into little rectangles, and prepare them for when we're ready to make the pasteles. So we're simmering that for 30 minutes. We take it out, we cut it into cubes, and then we put everything back in to simmer for another 30 minutes, 45 minutes until it's done. And we actually put in a little bit of the garbanzos, a little bit of olives, and a little bit, and then you leave the rest of the garbanzos and the olives for later, because we put that individually in each pastele. These are all the bananas. I think they have 5 of the groups of bananas. We had like 5 calabazas. We have to cut them. These are really hard to peel the outside of, so you need a really good knife in order to do it. Cut them into little pieces, and then actually cut the skin off. It's easier that way. And then we cool off the meat. We take the meat out, we cool off the meat, and you cut it into cubes, and then you put it back into to simmer to get fully cooked. She's gonna add jamon, ham into this cubed jamon to add to it as well. Olives and garbanzos after, and then pimientos too. And she puts salt to taste, so you have to put the salt. You have to actually taste it and see. She puts a third of these garlics. She cuts them up with the cilantro, a little bit of the cilantro and a little bit of the garlic, and she puts it into the meat for taste. But after it's been there for an hour, then she puts it in, so it could be fresh. These are the leaves. The leaves need to be cleaned with a rag, and the front and back, and then actually, you know. So we're cutting up everything into cubes. You put them in. Okay, the bananas is a very important. This is a very important rule. The bananas you have to actually put when they're with the peel on in hot water, so that when you cut it and you take it off the peel, it comes out quicker. So once everything is in cubes and you put it in water, then you go ahead and you put it in the food processor for blending. Now the meat is done. She's taking out all the meat. She's putting it separate. So when we make the pasteles, the masa is done. We're doing we're putting it into the food processor, letting them get really finely, not liquidated, but pressed, whatever. And we make sure that we take out the meat and separate it. Yuca, masa de yuca, this is something that's already processed and it's frozen in the frozen section. And this is something that you take out since it's frozen, and you take out all the water from it and you add it to the masa. So that's a step that you don't have to actually, do the masa. You have the yuca that's done, the frozen, and then you have the malanga, the pumpkin, and the bananas that you do yourself. But yuca you don't have to worry about because it's already done. It's in the frozen section. It's already finely milled. All you have to do is take out the water and put it into the masa. And so she's putting the oil with the achote into the mix, and also the juices from the meat need to go into the masa as well. And it needs to make sure that it's soft, and you're straining it to make sure that no beefy chunks get into the masa. So she's like straining the juices, and this is really important. just because, you know, the flavor of the bones and the meat and all the spices are in that sauce, and that's what makes the flavor of the pasteles so good. So this is important. So she puts it in, you stir it, and you just want to make sure you don't put too much liquid in the pasteles. So she's stirring it up, and then you're making sure that it's soft but not like liquidy. So she does it with the spoon first, and then later on, after everything is mixed together, she puts gloves on, and she goes in with her hands, and she makes sure everything is stirred up. She's putting more salt in. You have to put salt, and then stir it up and taste it and see. Make sure that there's enough salt in it. You know, you have to just try it and taste it yourself. It's a really long process, but the end result is great. The pasteles came out so good, and she's made so many. This is the paper that you need to use for the pasteles. So you take, you know, this is the la trigueña, papel para pasteles en tamales. That's what it's called. You need to get that and the strings ready. It's arm length strings, and you just cut them and make sure everything is ready for, and we're doing an assembly line. One person does something. So one person puts the leaves in the paper, the masa, and then the meat. And then she's showing how exactly you're supposed to wrap it. So you push it in, then you fold it, and then what you do is you push the masa in, and you wrap it. You push it down, make sure all the masa is down. Then you push it in and you wrap it again. And then you need to make two, and then you tie them together. When you two is together, then you put it like the string has to be halfway filled in, and then you put it through the hole, turn it around, and put them together, turn it around, and tie it again. Make sure that they're nicely tight, so that when you boil them for for an hour, they don't come out of the packaging. So you have to tie them right. So the masa, the meat, and then you put a little bit. Okay, it's important to wet the leaves with the achote, the oil. So that's why you don't put all of the oil into the meat. You have to save some for later, because you have to put the oil on the leaves so that they don't, when you take them out of boiling, they're not stuck to the leaves, and they come out easy. So it's important to do that. So everybody took a job, and we did 140 of these all together. This is a family thing, and it's so much fun. Everybody's talking, everybody's, you know, has a job to do. It's pretty fun, and they are delicious. So that is the end of the masa. It was 140 that we all did together. We're putting 6 in a bag each and taking them home. That's me going home after a hard day work. I really work hard, and I was just listening to my favorite music, driving home. I was tired. It was a long day. But I'm so glad my aunt, Titi Noma, was here to show us. And I have this recording to show everybody what everything was like. So you want to boil them in water for an hour if it's not frozen. If they're frozen, an hour and a half. And this is what they look like when it's done. If you like this type of video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This is my pasteles, my tradition with my family. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Goodbye.